My friends, we have reached the 30th Sunday in the ordinary time, which means that there are only 3 Sundays remaining before Christ the King that will conclude the entire liturgical calendar of the church for this year. As you can see, the seasons are changing and traffic is back in the villages, long lines in restaurants. We attempted twice in a place we could not enter. The waiting hour was like 1 hour, you know. But this is the crowd of the year. And I remembered when I was in Kissimmee, this time of the year, you know, Holy Redeemer Church, a lot of people. You can see that from their name plates, the tag, the plates of the car from different states in the north. There are even people from Europe, you know, coming down. So after the Mass, we kind of meet the people and say, hi, where are you from? You know, and it's nice for you to be here. We are grateful that you come to our church. And there was one couple, he said, Father, it's really a relief to be here in Florida this time of the year because it's freezing in the north, you know, and the snow is just like feet of snow and so cold and it's so freezing. And I said, why? Where are you from? And then she said, we are from Apopka. It's still cold there, you know. But it was fun. Anyway, let's go to the gospel reading today. And a wonderful miracle of Jesus, of the healing of the blind man. We will have a brief outline so you can follow easily. First, we will talk about blindness. Okay? There are 4 kinds of blindness. The one that's being talked about there is just the eye. But there are other more important ones that are more serious ones. So we will go into these 4 kinds of blindness. And hopefully we can learn from here because there's a lot of things that concern us, our attitudes, our relationships, and even our spiritual life. All of this are connected to the 4 kinds of blindness. Then from there, we will try to go into the meaning of what the blind man said to Jesus. He said, Master, I want to see. We will go into that those words. We will choose the 2 forms of blindness and the remedy. And there we will discover, you know, in looking into the meaning of the remedy to those 2 forms of blindness, we will learn something about how to attain success. You know, we will discover the key that will unlock the doors to success. There are 5 steps that we will discover there, and hopefully this will help us because who wants to fail? Nobody wants to fail. But there are keys, secrets that we can learn in everything that we do. You know, whatever we want to do, these things will help us, all aspects of life, in order to attain success. So these are very nice things that we can truly bring and we can use and hopefully improve our attitudes, our relationships, and our entire life. So, 4 kinds of blindness. The first one, of course, you are familiar, is the blindness of the eye, which is the physical blindness when the retina is incapable of sending messages to the optic nerve and to the brain. And so it's dark. Something is wrong. It's a medical condition. And of course, technology now, we have heard that they can implant a camera in the retina so it can send records, you know, images. So that's what technology, but you need experts in ophthalmology to handle that. But it's the easiest and most familiar form that we know. But there are other serious forms of blindness that are have more impact on our lives and lives of people. The second form of blindness is blindness of the heart. What do we mean by blindness of the heart? That people do not take into consideration the feelings of others. They do things they like. They don't care how people feel. You know, the blindness of how people are feeling. Everything that we say and do impact people. And sometimes, because of the way we say things, people can get hurt. And we don't care, okay? And that is painful. You know, if you don't care about how people feel, that's a very serious thing about your relationships. Blindness of the heart when it cannot feel, you know, the feelings of people. That is why the remedy for that is empathy, which is a character of Jesus. Deeply spiritual people have empathy. They can feel how other people feel. That is why Jesus, when a sick person comes to him and asks for help, he immediately takes it, you know, to the Greeks have a wonderful term for this. They call the verb, you know, is called splagnixomai, to have pity, to have compassion. The root word is splagna, which means guts. You know, you can feel it in your gut. That's how serious is the feeling of Jesus of empathy. That is why he has to do something to relieve the pain of somebody. He could empathize, he could feel it from his guts. That is the character of a spiritual person, which is an antidote to the blindness of the heart, which is serious. Third level of blindness is the blindness of the mind. Of course, which, you know, if the mind is ignorant and does not have the truth, or that the mind is dwelling on lies and falsity, it is not well informed. Blindness of the mind. And of course, knowledge, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, which is knowledge and wisdom, could help us enlighten the mind and widen the mind, you know, against stereotypes, falsity, so the mind can discover the truth. That is the solution to the blindness of the mind. Then, the fourth is very serious because this concerns about our spiritual life. Blindness of the soul. You know, when there is darkness in the soul, how the best example is many of us have experienced entering into a room that is dark. You know, when there's no power, it's dark. So what do you feel? You're scared. It's dark. Everybody is scared of darkness. Second, you're paralyzed. You cannot move because you might hit the furniture, and it's very painful. Then third, you're isolated. You cannot connect. There is no connection from others. And then you're restless, you know, when in the dark. This is what happens when we sin. When sin is in our soul, we are isolated. We stop connecting. We are restless and guilty and scared. And the only solution to this is that Jesus presents himself as the light who will shatter the darkness. And that's what happens in the sacrament of confession, reconciliation, when the Lord Jesus offers himself as light, shattering the darkness in the soul. That is why you feel relieved. You know, you feel free. You are forgiven. The soul is now alive. So, 4 levels of darkness. And hopefully we can learn from this and kind of bring more light to our lives and we join Bartimaeus with, Lord, I want to see. Give me light. Cure my eyes. Open my heart to empathy, to feel what other people feel. Enlighten, inspire my mind to know the truth and to accept and embrace it, and then relieve my soul from my sin. And we cure the 4 levels of darkness. Now, let's go finally into the words of Bartimaeus. Lord, I want to see. Okay, that concerns the heart and the mind. In order to succeed in everything that we do, there are 5 simple steps that I will tell you that you can use on your path to success. You can say this to your children, grandchildren, anybody, but we need these 5 things to achieve success. The first quality of a person to succeed is he should have the ability to adapt to changes. The road to success is long and winding. There are changes that are happening in our lives. We have to adapt to these changes to survive and navigate through these changes. Adapt. Because if you are comfortable with the status quo, that's all you will get. That's all you will get. But open to possibilities, new frontiers. When you discover new frontiers, you discover new opportunities. And with the opportunities come riches, wealth. But you have to move on and adapt to these changes. There are people who are scared of changes because they are comfortable with the status quo. But you don't stop. You don't. If you stop, you'll sink like the ship in the middle of the ocean. You have to move on, continue, and adapt to the changing climate of life. That is one important factor in success. Second, you have to prove something to yourself. Especially, you have to believe in yourself. Because if you don't, who else will believe you? And you have to prove something to people, especially who doubt you and who don't believe in you. You have to prove that they are wrong. Okay? You have to prove something to prove to yourself first. Now, from experience, I can use a more impact example from experience. With humility, I am the first Filipino pastor in the history of Central and South Florida. The first. I became the first. I came here 30 years ago, and after working as associate for more than 10 years, I got my first assignment as pastor in the church. They had no experience of a Filipino pastor in this part of the world. I am the first one. So, first assignment, Thank you. First assignment, I report to the parish, and I call the finance, the pastoral council, and the staff of the school. I want to meet them. My goodness. In the room, with all their suits and their ties, 6-footers. Okay? A lot of Germans, which is good, And I came in, and I've never been so scared in my life for the first time. So I opened with a prayer, and we sat down, and they already prepared the agenda. They prepared it already. And they were discussing and talking. I could not even speak. I could not speak. I could not join the conversation. So in the middle of all this, I stood up and said, stop. Okay? Stop. I was sent here by the bishop as your pastor, you are all advisors. The meeting is canceled for the moment. We will resume it tomorrow. I will make the agenda and I will preside. That okay with you? And then he said, yes, Father. Good. Okay. So what happened was, after 8 years, we renovated the church after 60 years. We built the parish center, beautiful, expanded, and the school is now the biggest school, Catholic school in Polk County, and the second largest private school. There are waiting lines every year for enrollment. You have to prove that they are wrong because they don't know you. You know, they were doubting, they have no experience of you, but you have to prove to yourself and to those people who doubt you that they are wrong. Okay, that is the most important thing that you have to do. Second. Third, the key to unity. How do you achieve unity? In a big group, the very diverse group, there is the secret to unity. Unity is not uniformity. Unity means respecting differences. People are different. And differences is a blessing. Diversity is a blessing. Like the salad bowl. How many of you know how to make a salad? Of course you do. You chop vegetables, lettuce, what else? Tomatoes, and then celery, whatever, carrots, and nuts too. Plenty of nuts, okay? But you bring all this together in the bowl. Each one is different, but what unites them is the sauce. That the vegetables are the same, but the flavoring of the sauce is the one that brings all this together. And it is the sauce that makes the salad what it is. So that's unity, the whole bowl, but diverse, respecting differences. That is the key to succeed in handling groups. Unity in diversity. The fourth is how to manage conflict. People are scared of conflict, but for me, conflict is a blessing because it is when there are problems which means that we are growing, we're improving, that conflicts makes problems emerge so you can address them. And the best way to handle conflict is not to fight. You know, this is how I deal with my staff and employees. I don't want to fight with you. I want you to be my friend. No fighting. Or don't go. Let's sit down together. Negotiation. We come together and decide what is best. That is a win and win situation. That is how to handle conflict. And from that time, you notice that the relationship is improving and the entire business is growing. Negotiate. Solution to conflict. And the last character of a successful person is you are serious with your vision. That you have a vision and you stick to that and you are serious to that. But at the same time, you can laugh at once in a while. You do mistakes. You know, you have mistakes. But to move on and be intent and serious with the mission. This, hopefully, 5 steps will help us, whatever we do. And that's the homily today.